Okay, let's get going then. Product rule. The product rule is when multiplying with the same base, you will add the exponents. Product rule states that when multiplying with the same base, you will add the exponents. Okay, so for number one, we have 3 squared times 3 cubed. So we would add the exponents. So 2 plus 3 is 5. So we would have 3 to the 5th. Now, when you have a number base, the expectation is that you simplify it to that number. Now, keep in mind, when you have an exponent, that essentially means you're multiplying that base by that many times. So you can either say 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 to get your answer, multiply 3 5 times, or you can use the caret, 3 caret 5. Okay, which is a lot easier, a lot quicker. Now, in your cell phone, if you have an iPhone, there's not a caret on your main screen, but on your sideways screen, for those that have this option, there's squared, there's cubed, and then there's x to the y. So if I wanted to say 3, push that button, 5, I would get 243. Okay. Now you should have an actual calculator. If we were in the school, calculators are not allowed to be used from your cell phone. So if we ever do go back to school, Androids have that too. Okay, good. I mean, I don't have many friends that have Android, so I've never just like, hey, can I see your calculator? So I'm glad to know that it also does. Most calculators do, but a lot of students are like, oh, it's not there. I'm like, well, it's on the, you have to turn it. You got to do the additional calculator. But what I was saying was, if we ever go back to school, let's clarify. When we go back to school, we will eventually go back into the school building. You are not allowed to use your cell phone as a calculator. So if you've been getting by on that at home, that's great. I can't really do anything to stop you, but in class, that's a no. You cannot do that. So keep that in mind. You do need an actual calculator at the school building. Okay, can't use the cell phone on the ACT, you can't use the cell phone on the state test, any of that. So you can't use it in class either. All right, number 2. Quantity -5 to the first power times quantity -5 to the 6th power. All right, now, when you have a negative base, okay, it's important they use parentheses. So this would become -5 to the 7th. And we use our calculators, you have to use parentheses to make sure you get the right answer, okay? So we get -78,125, okay? Okay, let's try number 3 and 4. 2 to the 3rd times 2 to the 4th, and quantity -4 squared times quantity -4 to the 4th. Okay, so for number 3, what would that simplify to? 2 to the 3rd times 2 to the 4th. To the 7th, good. And using your calculator or just multiplying over and over and over, 2 to the 7th is 128, good. In boxes. Okay, how about number 4? -4 quantity squared times -4 quantity to the 4th simplifies as quantity -4 to the 6th. Remember, you do need to use parentheses. And what does that answer come out to be? What does that answer come out to be? Okay, so I got two options. I got -4096 and I got +4096. So this is another case of important parentheses. So if I do parentheses -4 to the 6th, I should get +4096. But if you don't use parentheses, like I've said now 3 times, you're going to get a negative answer. Okay. Your calculator works off of PEMDAS. If you do not use parentheses, it thinks you only want to do 4 to the -6 power and then multiply that answer by a -1. That's why you have to use parentheses for it to know that you want to use -4 as your base. So it is important that you use parentheses. Now, above, we got a negative answer even with parentheses. Why is this one negative versus this one? Why is 2 negative versus 4? They both have a negative base. It's an odd number, correct? When you have odd numbers, you're going to have a negative. When you have a even number, you're going to have positive. Negative amounts of negative numbers, or sorry, odd amount of negative numbers are always negative. Even amount will become positive. Okay, so this also works on variables. X to the 9th times x to the 3rd. So we add them. So we would get x to the 12th. Okay, now can I simplify anything past that point? Nope, sure can't. So that's all I have to do. So that's about a 5-second question. As long as you can add numbers, you can complete this work. Okay, w to the 12th times w to the 33rd. What does that one get? Practice your first grade adding. W to the 45th. And if you're looking for the caret on your calculator or on your keyboard, it's the 6th button. So shift 6 is your root number. Okay. How about W to the 6th times W? W, that's a Y, my bad. Y to the 6th times Y. It really doesn't matter. You could have done W's, but. Okay, so I got 2W or 2y to the 6th. I got y to the 6th. I got y to the 7th. Okay. So what exponent is on a letter when there's no exponent visible? 1. And a little 1 is there. Just like when you have a 1 out front, it's 1y to the 1st. Don't forget about that 1. Up here, I wrote it kind of get you started, but the 1 will never be written. It's just not written. So therefore, this is W to the W. What is wrong with me? Y to the 7th. I really want to make that a W apparently right now. Okay. Now let's combine them, numbers and variables. So 4 y. I even had to think about it. Wow. I just need to maybe sleep this weekend. Just kidding. I have grad work. No sleep. Okay. Whoa. 4. Oh, this is going to be a great class. Okay. We got this. 45 more minutes. We can do this. Okay. 4y times 3y cubed. So when you have multiplying, you can multiply the numbers like normal, and then you add the exponent. So 4 times 3 is 12. Y times y cubed is y to the 4th, in reference to what we talked about here. That 1 is imaginary. It's not really written there, but it is there. Okay, so again, multiply numbers, add exponents. Okay, number 9. Okay, how about 2 squared x cubed y squared times 2 x squared y to the 4th. Okay. Now, again, keep in mind that even numbers have an exponent on them. So 2 squared, this is really 2 to that first power. So we get 2 to the 3rd. Then what is my x and y going to be? X to the what? Y to the what? X to the 6th. Always scares me when I hear a doorbell. Okay, let's see if this person needs my signature or if they've already left the door. I'm a very jumpy person, so I think they already left. Yep. Okay. Whew. Sorry. All right, and then we have a number, so 2 to the 3rd is what? 2 to the 3rd is what? 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, correct. Okay, let's try one more of these with numbers. Quantity -3 cubed, c squared d e cubed, throwing in another variable in there, times -3 cubed d cubed e to the 4th. Okay, and let's see what you can do with that. Try your best. I know you can do well. Okay, good. We got -3 to the 6th, c squared. There's nothing to combine with the c, so it just stays where it stays itself. D to the 4th, and e to the 7th. Good job for the student that responded, the students that had responded. Okay, and then last but not least, we just need to simplify this number. So quantity -3 to the 6th power is good, 729. Good job. Okay, one more for product rule. Okay, and this one's just written slightly differently, but you're following the same rules. See what you come of that one. Okay, good. Got a couple responses. So a squared, there's nothing to combine with a squared, so it stays the same. Good. B combines to be b to the 7th, and then divided by c to the 6th. Okay. Okay, just looks a little differently, but same rules apply. And there's nothing that can simplify past that point. You just have A, B, and C. Okay, how are we feeling about product rule? Nine out of 10, 10 out of 10, 114. Very confident. Good. Okay, good. Makes sense. 10 out of 10. It seems it's pretty complicated. Okay, do you have a question I can help to uncomplicate it? Or to help? It's okay. Nah, I got it. Okay. At the end of the day, you're adding exponents. That's it. That's the only step you take, is adding exponents of the same variable. If it's numbers, you simplify it to a number. If it's variables, it just stays a variable. Okay, let's try the power rule. Okay, power rule says that when raising a power to another power, you will multiply the exponents. When you're raising a power to another power, you will multiply the exponents. So I have 2 squared quantity cubed. So I have a power to a power, an exponent to an exponent. So that means I multiply them. So 2 times 3 is 6. So that would be how I simplify a power to a power. And then I evaluate 2 to the 6th. So what would that be? Again, you can always use a calculator, but it is also good to know some of them. But 2 to the 6th is not as common. 64 is correct. Good job. Okay. How about you try this one? How about you try that one? A large number. It's definitely a large number there. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, so it should be 5 to the 12th, which comes out as a very large number. Okay, and again, same can be true about variables. I firmly believe, especially with exponents, because there's not really any work, it's just practicing and memorizing the skills. In class, we do like a fun little foldable, but it's kind of hard to explain. I mean, you can see me, but I mean, I can't provide you the supplies. So I guess we could have tried that adventure of making everyone do it themselves individually, but I also feel like that could have been a dumpster fire of an attempt. Okay, try 14 and 15. Okay, let's see what we got. So, okay, let's see. It looks like we're doing okay. So this should be x to the 28th, and this should be w to the 51st. So I did get some of those correct. Some people did not. Overall majority did. I saw a lot of people adding. A lot of people got x to the 11th and w to the 20th. When it's a power to a power, you multiply. And it should be exponents, not coefficients.